Hey, it's me, Emil Nate, Emil Meister, the one and only, welcoming you to another edition of the Daily Zap. Of course, the Daily Zap is a 10 to 15 minute segment, 10 to 15 minute daily show in which we talk about the latest in the world of sports. Maybe it's basketball, maybe it's wrestling, maybe it's something else. And I would just apologize for not uploading anything for the last 2 days. I'm still busy with some things. I'm still dealing with some things as of this moment. So I apologize. I will try to upload as much as possible though. And today I got some free time, so let's do it. So today, but before that, please follow me on all my social media accounts. You follow me on Facebook. Again, I do have this series on Facebook in which we would have this simulation of the NBA from the year 2008, so go check that out. I am going to continue that this coming Saturday evening. I am also on Twitter at Emil_Meister, also on Twitch, Emil_Meister, and YouTube. Give this video a like, a comment, and subscribe. Also share my videos. That's the only way this channel would grow. Okay, so let's get right into the biggest news probably from today. The All-Star starters has been announced for the 2022 All-Star game in Cleveland, Ohio. So the 5 starters are determined by 50% fan vote, 25% players vote, and 25% media votes. And here are your starters for the Western and the Eastern Conference. Of course, it's not East versus West, but these are the 5 players from East and West, the fans, the media, and the players determined to start for the upcoming All-Star game. So for the Western Conference, we had Stephen Curry, of course, Ja Morant, Andrew Wiggins, Nikola Jokic, and LeBron James for the Western Conference. For the Eastern Conference side, we got Trae Young, Demar Derozan, Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the team captain is Kevin Durant. So, the biggest thing that people are talking about coming out of this announcement was Andrew Wiggins. Some people are mortified, some people are shocked, some are surprised that he is an All-Star starter. But when I made my All-Star predictions a few weeks ago, so you can check that out on my YouTube channel, and also on my Facebook page, I did say that Andrew Wiggins deserves to be an All-Star this year. The only question is if he's going to be a reserve or is he going to be a starter. Now, the reason why I put Andrew Wiggins as a starter is because there's no other small forwards who is actually playing on an All-Star level this year. You can say Paul George, but he's been out since December, so I'm counting him out. He's probably not going to be in the All-Star game as well because he's going to be out for a long stretch of time. Kawhi Leonard is injured. Can you name other small forwards who is on the winning team, getting some productive minutes, is on a big market? Of course, the fans are always going to vote for the big market teams. We choose the small market players from in the reserves. In the reserve section, but in the starters, it's always the big market teams. Or if you're a really good player, maybe you could be picked from a small market team, but that case is only rare. So yeah, I did choose Andrew Wiggins, so it's not really a surprise. I do not here's the thing. I've been seeing a lot of people hating on K-pop fans as the reason why Andrew Wiggins is a starter. And I think it's unfair because first of all, it's fan vote. From digging in deep more into the whole K-pop fans being hated by some of the fans, the NBA fans here, is because there's this K-pop star. I know this guy. The name is Bam Bam. He's from the GOT7 JYP. My favorite company when it comes to K-pop because they represent twice. ITZY, of course, they are my favorite groups. So apparently, Bam Bam encouraged all his fans on social media to vote for this guy for the All-Star game. He's a big Warriors fan. He's a big Andrew Wiggins fan. And of course, you know these fans, they will do everything that their idol wants them to do because they're avid fans. Like I've been there. I've had a first hand experience of being a K-pop fan and knowing some people who is a K-pop fan, and they are really supportive with their idols. Like everything that they do, everything they say they follow. So yeah, so they voted this guy, and in the first returns he was in the fourth. He wasn't in the top three, but during the second and the third returns of the votes, he is consistent number 3 in the front court. And here's the thing: if Andrew Wiggins did not deserve to make the All-Star team, fan votes is only 50%. So that means some of the players and some of the media men thinks that he is an All-Star starter. So I really can't say anything anymore at this point, because it's a unanimous decision from all the fans, from the players, from the media, that he is an All-Star. And he's averaging 18 points a game. Let's see, because I did dig Wiggins' stats. Like, for me, he's an all-star. Come on. Like some of the people hating must not watch basketball, man. Especially this season. So as of this moment, he's averaging 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. But the biggest difference this year compared to any other years is the impact that he's having on both the offensive end and the defensive end. He has improved drastically on the defensive end. It's one of the big reasons why Golden State is one of the top teams in the Western Conference. You can't deny that. And he's in a big market. That's an advantage that he has. And I don't think that's his fault whatsoever. So I don't know why people are saying like he ain't shit, he doesn't deserve to be in there. Because for me, I've already picked my All-Stars and I put him in there, so it's not a surprise to me. I am surprised at the amount of people saying that he should not be there. I mean, have y'all been watching the Warriors this season? They are much better when Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green is on the floor together. Like, they're still getting used to Clay being back, and they have got, they are slowly getting the momentum. They've won 4 games in a row, like creeping in on the Phoenix Suns there at the top of the Western Conference. So you can't say that Andrew Wiggins is not deserving. Does other guys deserve more than Andrew Wiggins in the starting lineup? Maybe. But this is because of the positional, the lack of all-stars in his position. Because, again, you got to remember, in the all-star lineup, there's a certain criteria, there's a certain number of players that should be included in the team. So there should be, there should be like four guards and 6 6 front court players, and then including 2 wild cards. So it can be a guard, it can be a front court player. So there's a restriction there, and he feels the qualifications, the criteria just right. So for me, he gets in. I have no problems with it. Do I think there's some other players that in there that is in the running for the All-Star spot? Do I think that some of them deserves a spot over Andrew Wiggins? Yes. But am I mad that he is in the starting lineup? Absolutely no, because it's all in the rules. Like fan votes. Like, I've expressed my disdain for fan votes for a long time now, but because of the change in the qualifications, because of the change in the rules, like fan votes right now is only 50%. So it is not as powerful as it was back in the day when Zaza Pachulia almost made it to the All-Star game. So yeah, he got 50% of the votes, but if he didn't get those other 50%, the fans, the players, and the media men, he would not be here. So players and media thinks that he is an all-star, and for me, I can't really do nothing about that because that's their perception, and they're the ones playing in the league. They're the ones covering the league. So as fans, I can't say anything about it. I agree with them because in my personal all-star ballot, I had Wiggins as my starter because he's playing good. But aside from that, the lack of the small forwards who's doing good this season as of this moment, you really can't name any. Paul George is out. Kawhi is out. Who else? I mean, the Suns, they do not have a number 3 guy. The Lakers as well. So again, you really can't say anyone. Donovan Mitchell is a guard, so he's not even in contention here. Luka Doncic, they list him as a guard as well, so you can't put him over Andrew Wiggins because Wiggins is a Wiggins is a 3. It's a front court player. So I'm rambling on here. So let's talk about the other selections here. Of course, Stephen Curry deserves it, having an MVP season. Ja Morant, I'm really happy for Ja Morant because at the beginning of the voting, he was lacking behind Luka Doncic, and he really did step it up at the right time. Like after the first returns of the votes, that's where the Grizzlies really had this long winning streak, of course led by Ja Morant, and they really made their way into like the top 3 in the standings. So he got hot at the right time. He got some more fan votes because of that, and then you got these players in the media who thinks he's a starter. He's having a better season overall than Luka Doncic, and I love Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is an incredible player, one of the best players in the league. But for me, Ja Morant is having a better season, and we can look at that in the standings. The Grizzlies have a much better record than the Mavericks. I'm sure Luka's gonna get in as a reserve. There's no doubt about that. He's gonna get in. He's in my All-Star lineup. But Ja Morant deserves it better than Luka Doncic, and I have absolutely no problems with that. Being a Luka Doncic fan myself. And then you got LeBron and Jokic. Again, no brainers there. LeBron, he's still the best player in the world, the most popular player in the world, so he's always going to be there. And I am glad that he's actually a captain again because LeBron James is one of the he's really good at drafting players. Like he is 4-0. He hasn't lost an All-Star game since they had this captain, the new format to the All-Star lineups. So he hasn't lost since then. So I trust everything to LeBron to pick me a team because he's gonna do good. He's gonna pick the right guys. He's gonna make sure that his team wins, and even in an All-Star game. So yeah. So let's go over to the East side. Kevin Durant is a captain, but again, because of the injury, he might not play, but he might be the one who picks for his team because that is what happened last. So he's not going to be able to pick his players. He's not going to be able to play, but he's going to pick his players. So in the Eastern Conference, we got Kevin Durant. We got Kevin Durant. We also got Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, and then Demar Derozan and Trae Young. The point of dispute here is Trae Young, because the Hawks are having a horrible first half of the season. I mean, if you look at the numbers, Trae Young is an all-star. If you look at the numbers, basically. But I have my reservations with winning more on the reserves than in the starters, because the starters, again, there's an element of fan vote, so they're going to vote for the popular players, no matter how suck their team might be. It doesn't matter if their team is horrible, but if a certain player is popular and he's averaging this all-star stats, he's always going to get in as a starter. As a reserve, there might be a little doubt with that, but as a starter, I have no problems with Trae Young making it. He is an all-star player. His team hasn't really done well, but he is an all-star player, so I have no problems with it. In my all-star selection video, I did put Zach Levine because the Bulls are winning, but I really can't blame the fans for voting Trae Young. Although I do agree that Zach Levine should be an all-star starter over Trae Young. Although they're both gonna make it. They're both gonna make it at this point. So DeMar DeRozan again. I'm happy, man, that DeMar DeRozan got in, and he has not been an all-star since like 2017. So I'm really glad that he made it this year, and 2018. I'm sorry. So yeah, we got DeMar DeRozan there, and then the 3 guys. Durant, Embiid, and Giannis. No, you really can't put anyone over these 3. They are the 3 best front court players in the East in the league right now. So, yeah, no problems with that as well. The real debate here is going to be on the reserve side, because this is where this is where things get into this thing. This is where debates come in. Does this guy deserve it over this guy? maybe this guy's team is doing well than this other guy's team, so maybe he's gonna get in. But here's the thing: coaches always look for players who are on the winning teams. They don't pick guys who's always on the losing side of things. So if your team is under 500, you're probably not gonna, and especially if you're like at the bottom of the standings, you're not gonna get some votes from the coaches. These coaches always vote if your team is at least in the top 6 or in the top 8. And I've already made my prediction for the All-Star reserve, so go check that out. But I'm gonna add one because KD is going to be probably out, so he's not gonna probably play in the All-Star game. So they will replace him with someone from the East. Now, and I think that guy is LaMelo Ball. And I left LaMelo Ball out during my original pick because at that time Charlotte was worse than the Raptors and the Celtics. But now the Hornets are better than than both teams. So I think LaMelo should have some consideration. But I do think LaMelo gets in as a reserve, and either one of Fred VanVleet or Jarrett Allen makes it as a replacement. So that's what I think what's gonna happen. But LaMelo Ball, I'm gonna add him to my list because there's an additional spot, because KD is gonna be out, maybe for the All-Star game, because he's out 6 to 8 weeks, and that's probably going to cover the All-Star weekend as well. So yeah, I'm gonna add LaMelo Ball to my list. I hope he makes it, and I think he's gonna make it as an initial reserve. And then either one of those guys that I mentioned earlier, they're going to be the ones like the commissioner will choose to make a replacement. So I think that's it for this edition of the Daily Zap. Again, All-Star starters has been announced. The All-Star reserves is going to be announced next week, same day, Friday, on Inside the NBA. So again, we will have a review of that after it happens so that we can wrap up all the All-Star talk. And again, please follow me on all my socials, Facebook at Emil Meister. Again, I'm doing a simulation of the NBA from the year 2008. I'm doing that on Facebook every single weekend. On Twitter at Emil Meister_Meister. On Twitch, also same handles. And please give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. Also give, share this. That is the only way for this channel to grow. Again, I just got my booster shot. I'm not really feeling well. I'm feeling down. I've been laying in my bed for the entire day. So again, but I just need to address this very quickly. So this has been me, not even my sort of one and only, saying always stay safe, and I will see you on the next Daily Zap.